Hey, Shalom Akim. First and foremost, want to begin this lesson by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Also want to say Shalom. Much due honors and respect to all the fellow laborers who, diligently continuing to push out this word, all right, in this gospel, in all diligence, truth, faith, and sincerity. So, it's the brother Al Ram, Jim, Let's Blow the Trumpet 7 camp, the church in Birmingham, Alabama, and I just wanted to get into another quick lesson. And hopefully it's edifying, all right? And I want to center this lesson around balance. You know, there's a lot of brothers that's touched on this subject, and I want to pretty much chime in on it as well, because being in this truth is indeed a great balancing act, all right? And, a lot of brothers who speak on this topic, they pretty much always go to this scripture, which I want to get real quick, Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and starting at verse 16, be not righteous over much, neither make thyself over wise. Why shouldest thou destroy thyself? Be not over much wicked, neither be thou foolish. Why shouldest thou die before thy time? Yeah, and a lot of brothers bring the scripture out when dealing with balance, and rightfully so, because it's a good edifying precept that pretty much sums up balance to a certain extent, though, all right? But in reality, that scripture, what I just read and what a lot of brothers bring out, is not the be-all, end-all scripture or outlook when dealing with balance. When the scripture speaks about balance, it's talking about in everything you do, not just being righteous or wicked, all right? Even in, just say if you drink wine or liquor, well, you got to be balanced in that. You got to do it with a certain level of moderation. All right. If you got a woman or rib you're dealing with, you can't overindulge in her. It got to be a certain balance to that. So when the scripture speaks about balance, it's not just talking about wickedness and righteousness overall. All right. It's talking about in your whole walk in this path is like walking on a tightrope, man. Everything you do got to be done with a certain level of balance, because there's a lot of guys that have henceforth fallen out of this truth because simply they overindulged in certain things, or they did things, under the balance. For an example, you might come into this truth and you begin to be a servant for Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. What I mean, you start doing the work, all right? And let's just throw a number out there. Hypothetically, you might come into the truth and you might do 2 videos a week, and that might work for you, all right? That might actually work for you, and you can maintain with that. But the point is, you don't want to go beneath that number, all right? Slack off from those 2 videos a week. Neither do you want to overexert yourself by trying to do more than those 2 videos a week. That's what you call balance. And a matter of fact, let me get a quick precept. This is Sirach chapter 3 and verse 21. Seek not out things that are too hard for thee, neither search the things that are above thy strength, which again is dealing with balance. All right? That's dealing with balance, man. So pretty much in this truth is not just designated to being over righteous or being overly wicked. It's dealing with every little thing you do in this truth, man. Whether it's studying, you got to have a balance to your studying, man. You can't just brainstorm all day in the scriptures, man. There's no balance to that. Matter of fact, let me get a quick precept. This is the book of Proverbs. Chapter 25 and verse 16. Hast thou found honey? Eat so much as is sufficient for thee, lest thou be filled therewith and vomit it. Now, when you go into that word for sufficient, it actually takes you to the word adequate, which takes you to the word moderate, man. Meaning, let it be done in moderation. Like it tell you, if you drink, you want to drink in moderation. Well, when this scripture says, hast thou found honey, which is talking about these scriptures, you got to eat what's sufficient for you, which is pretty much dealing with balance. It's got to be a balance to studying. It's got to be a balance to even when you work out, man. You can't become a gym rat in this truth, or a guy that just all indulged into working out, because that could take you off of your path. When you read Second Ezra, the 7th chapter, where it talks about this narrow path, well, that's a tightrope. So that means you can't sway to the left or sway to the right. That's in anything, man. All right? Your kids, it got to be a balance. If you're in a situation where you got kids, you can't be all indulgent in your kids, man. All right? It got to be a balance. You got to learn balance, and that's in every little thing you do, not just, in being righteous or wicked. Which that's like again, overall, it goes into that's the be all end all to a certain extent, because that what sums it all up. But when the scripture speaks about balance, again, it's going into your walk of life and everything you do, man. All right. This is Proverbs 11:1. A false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. Yeah. So the reason why a false balance is an abomination to the Lord, because it's not perfection. All right? It's not perfection. You got to, even in judgment, it's got to be balanced, man. You might have a brother because a lot of brothers don't even understand judgment. Judgment is not just always dealing with the bad. There's such thing as good judgments, man. That's why Yahweh Shah said he would judge every man according to their works, whether it be good or bad. So even in your judgment, like you might have a brother, he might be doing good things. So you got to give him a good judgment. Hey, yo, look, bro, you're doing good. Keep up the good work. You know, the spirit on you. I perceive that, you're doing the right things. Stick with it, bro. All right? Don't just be ready to bring judgment on a brother all the time when it's negative. All right? So balance, when you got to understand really the meaning of balance and what balance is going into. Balance is being balanced on it in everything you do, man. Every little thing you do. All right? Because again, when a lot of brothers equate the scripture, be not over righteous, you'll have some knucklehead that take that the wrong way. They might be like, well, I've been righteous for 2 weeks. Let me go do something wicked to balance it off. See, that you actually got guys out there that's simple like that, man. You'll have a damn knucklehead to think like that. Well, I've been a little too righteous. Let me do something crazy, something real wicked, so I could balance everything back out. So again, you got to understand what the scriptures speak of when it talks about balance, man. Balance is dealing with everything you do, from judgments to when you drink. If you drink alcohol or wine, it's got to be a balance to that. You got a woman you deal with. You got to balance that off, man. All right? Your kids, and even this studying, man. All right? You got a certain level of videos that's sufficient for you, that works for you. You might be able to put out, 2 videos a day, 4 or 5 videos a week. If that's, a good pace for you that keeps you on this path, where you're able to continue to be in this truth and on this path, then that's your balance. All right? So, yeah, I hope this lesson was edifying. Until the next time I say shalom.